So I'm thinking now that it is basically really sad that we've got to get old. Um, for some reason I've become more aware of increasing age. I mean, I'm 47 now, so that's not really old, but it's definitely getting there. And I haven't really taken a step back and thought about old age and what it means. So it is really quite scary, basically, to know that I'm advancing in age, my eyesight is not so good, my stamina's not so good, my fitness is not what it was, my memory is less good. Well, I've had an injury, so I've lost my memory anyway. But even without that, it would be awkward. So I'm just appreciating age more now, and it's made me think of the larger topic of life and the fact that it will come to an end one day. It will just basically stop one day. And that hasn't really occurred to me before. I've never thought about life stopping eventually. And it is kind of amazing to know with certainty that life will just eventually stop one day. And it is very sad, obviously. It's just very strange that there's this definite eventuality, unavoidable. But we do work hard to try and extend it, I suppose. But it's making me think about the whole pointlessness of it all. The fact that it will come to an end and is unavoidable no matter what you do in life is very sad, very tragic. But at the same time, there's still the desire to make the most of life and to make the best possible life I can. I'm glad to have that feeling still. But it has to be said that life is basically a tragedy, an extended tragedy. The inevitability of death is a very sad situation. So it does make me wonder along philosophical lines as to what life is and what's the point of it and all that business. It's very strange that life exists and that it has to come to an end, that it's only temporary. So it is sad in a way, but there's so much joy in life as well, so much to like about life. So I was wondering, in some strange way, if I had a choice way back before I was born, if I had a choice between living and dying, so having the joy of life and the sadness of death, or not living at all, so never experiencing that sadness, would I rather have lived and then died, or would I prefer to have never lived, to not experience that sadness of death? And I think that I definitely would prefer to have lived, even though it has to come to an end, rather than not have life at all. So life is definitely, I would say, worthwhile, even though it's relatively short and stops. I'm wondering why life comes to an end anyway. I mean, the biological process to keep us alive it should be possible. The regeneration of cells and whatever. The time limit is kind of odd, really. Unless you start thinking about evolution and all that business. I'm wondering if we might one day find that timer, that instruction to end life and turn it off. I'm wondering if it's possible to somehow look in our DNA and simply turn off the need to die. That would be so totally amazing to find a way to turn off the death signal or whatever it is. It's interesting to think on the possibility of that.